Hi guys, welcome to Let's Talk Ship and welcome to my channel. Today guys I will show you some information about the stats about the new tier 6 German destroyer Ernst, and I will not pronounce the later on Ernst. We can call this destroyer Ernst because it's hard for me to pronounce the German words. Now, I just keep you in mind that this is the testing stats, and these stats can actually change. And I'll give you my personal opinion, the strength and the weakness. For every single ship in the game have some strength, and every ship in the game has some weakness. So let's start. Okay, folks, this Ernst has the highest HP, which is pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, almost 4,000 more HP than Farragut. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So this is my own personal opinion. This is a fighter, this is a brawler. You can actually engage, in my opinion, it depends on what guns you choose to have. You should engage any tier 6 or tier 5 destroyers, and you have a huge chance versus them because of the HP pools, but also because of the tools that you have that no other destroyers have. So the HP pool, it's fantastic. Let's go to the next page. And unfortunately guys, this is the downside. There's at least two things you have to know about the whole German line. They has pretty bad concealment versus, let's say, Japanese, or even worse than US. But the absolutely horrible thing is the rudder shift and turnings radius. You see 690 turnings radius, it's a cruiser level turning, so keep that in mind. With 4.2 seconds, so all that together, it will be even more sluggier than Ognevoy. Yeah, so I do urge you to have this opportunity to purchase the rudder shift module. And let's go to the next page, folks. And now it's also a downside. There's at least, I told you, there's at least two things which is kind of a bad about all German destroyers, and this is the guns range. It's 10.9 kilometers, and actually only the Mutsukit's, you know, the Japanese destroyer has lower. But how shall I say? Ernst German tier 6 destroyer has not as flat arc as Anshan's and Ognevoy. It's a little bit worse, but not that bad as Farragut, because at Farragut at 13 kilometers or 12.6, you're not gonna hit anything, because it takes forever for the shells to hit the target. But of course, Mutsukit's 7.6, it's, and you only have two guns, so forget it. But now here's the deal, folks. There's two ways to play this ship. You have two options. The stock configuration is the same as you see here in the pictures. This is 128 millimeters guns and has almost the same rate of fire as Ognevoy and Anshan. Not huge difference, very close. But if you put the 150 millimeters, you have this upgrade options, then your rate of fire, it's not that good. It's, matter of fact, the worst. I think even worse than Mutski. But the thing is, and this is the thing you have to keep in mind, if you play with 150 millimeters guns configuration, you're stuck with 10.9 kilometers range, and you cannot buff the rate of fire and you cannot buff the range. But if you have the 128 millimeters, you could actually have even faster rate of fire than Anshan and Ognevoy, if they have stock, but they can also have the, you know, benefit of AFT and BSF. But the thing is that, folks, that if, let's say, Anshan or Ognevoy selling away from you because it has a little bit more speed than the Ernst, which means that basically they can shoot you and you cannot return fire if they are more than 10.9 kilometers. So just, you know, keep in mind, I know there's two different way to play this destroyer, but in my opinion, if you want to brawl, if you want to go and kill all other destroyer, because you have this opportunity to do that, HP pool and pretty good rate of fire if you have the 128 millimeters guns. Now, folks, about the concealment. The concealment, folks, it's not huge big different. Just take a look. It's basically Farragut concealment, and Ognevoy it's a little bit behind. So the difference between Anshan, Farragut and Ernst are very little. It's you are a gun both, but you have also good torpedoes. So in this regard, it's not a huge difference. The only little bit which is kind of weird, it's the air detection, but 4.3, which is actually the worst of any destroyer in the game. But I think it must be something, it's a balancing factor or something. But otherwise, concealment, it's about average or compare with all rest of the destroyers. Folks, regarding the smoke screens, they are basically Japanese destroyer level of the smoke, not something special. It only have a lifetime for 81 seconds and work time for 20 seconds. But there is few things. You have some tools that no other destroyers have. Remember, folks, if you I'm just very short tell you about Loyang. Loyang, it's a Benson's Chinese destroyer, right? But if you want to put the module, I'm talking about the consumable on Loyang with Hydro, you cannot have the speed boost of that particular destroyer. Well, in the German destroyer from tier 6 all the way to tier 10, you have more tools than any other destroyers. You still gonna have the smoke, you still gonna have the repair party, and you still gonna have the Hydro, and you still gonna have the speed boost. So the thing is that you know, there's a lot of options. You can, you know, put and the smoke, of course. So yeah, you have more option, more tools than any tier 6 destroyer in the game. And this is what I'm talking about. Hydro. Hydro, it's work time for 114 seconds. Heck, it's almost 2 minutes time, and it's a great ship accuracy for 5.3. The thing is, this is, of course, you will be spotted because 5.3, it's not high enough that you can, you know, invisible. If I mean your concealment, it's not below 5.3. That's what I'm trying to say. But here's the deal, folks. You still have smoke, you still have speed boost, and you still have Hydro. Which basically it is, if you know when to use the Hydro, it's very hard for enemy destroyer to send torps and nuke you. Basically, let's say if you are in the smoke and shooting other destroyers or other ships, it's, you know, when enemies see you a smoke cloud, oh, that must be a destroyer, let us put some torps in the middle of smoke. Well, if you press the Hydro, you will see at least 3.7 kilometers away, so you can prepare yourself to move away. And why not press the speed boost and get the heck out of there. You know what I mean? With this tools, you can do it, but if you don't have the tool, well, you never know when the torps are reaching you until it's too late. You know what I mean? And yeah, this is how you supposed to play. Or another thing is when you're charging another destroyer or another cruiser, Royal Navy cruiser in the smoke, you pop your hydro, she's in the smoke, and if there's no enemy ships around her, you will see her, but she cannot see you. You know, you can always send your torps and get the heck out of there, or gunfight the enemy ships. So there's several ways how to approach your enemy with the this tier 6 German destroyer. One more information, guys, and this is about the 180 degree turn time. This is Bugioni tier 6 cruisers with 152mm guns. It has 22.8. You as a destroyer will have 22.5 second 180 degree turn time. Almost as close as Scharnhorst, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, there's something else that I would like to tell you. It's about the captain's perk. All the German destroyer line, you really basically need this expert marksman, because otherwise, beside Anshan and yeah, and some Russian destroyers, you will have the worst 180 degrees turn time. And 8 kilometers torpedoes you will have. You also need to have this concealment expert if you want to use them often as, you know, torp and run. But in general, beside the Japanese I'm talking about beside the Japanese destroyer, you will actually have one of the best torpedoes in the game, because where are you? I'm talking about this one. Farragut has only 6.4, I think it is, for torpedo. Yeah, 6.4 and 64 knots, which is very good as a speed. If you're within 6.4, you will actually hit this your target. But remember that the destroyer, tier 6 destroyer, will have 8 kilometers, so it's a whole lot easier to stealth torps. Even stock, you have just a couple of meters before you get spotted, but if you would have the concealment expert, then a whole would be much easier. So in general, you are like pretty good gunboat with very punchy torpedoes, and the reload time of all tier 6, tier 8, tier 10 destroyers will have 90 seconds, and those torpedoes are 88 seconds, so it's almost as close to this Farragut destroyer. I'm talking about the reload. And yeah, I think she is a very interesting destroyer. And for me personal, I think because she has the modules and the tools, and I'm talking about the consumable that no other destroyer has. You see here what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the damage control party 1, smoke and speed. But the German will have one more, and that is hydro, which is yeah, very unique for 6 destroyer. But if you can have, and I think it's more important than ever that you need to have good captain, and captain's perk are very crucial for how you use the destroying straight, because speed wise it's more or less all of them, they have the same speed, near 37 knots. So it's not that huge difference, but the biggest difference is turning radius and rudder shift, which the American are superior, and of course the turning radius. I'm talking about the reload time and 180 degree turn time. Here we have 12 seconds, but even the Russian, I'm talking about the tier 7 and up, they will actually have better than the Germans one. So just take a closer look. If you're on the right side and you want to turn your guns away, it will take some precious seconds to engage your target. So thanks guys, I think the German line will be very interesting and I'm looking forward to grind them. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next gameplay.
Yeah.